The bell had rung long ago, but one classroom still echoed with silence. A single desk lamp flickered against cracked walls, and a man with weary eyes stacked worn-out notebooks into a neat pile. His name was Mr. Aaron Cole, a substitute teacher barely surviving on part-time wages at Ridgewood Elementary. His clothes were clean but faded, his shoes patched more times than he could count. Yet his heart, gentle, patient, and stubbornly hopeful, was the one thing that had never grown old. Outside, dusk painted the playground gold. Children's laughter drifted away until only the rustling of paper remained. Aaron sighed, ready to lock up, when a soft sound stopped him, a quiet sob. It came from the back corner of the hallway. He followed the sound and found a little girl sitting by the window, knees tucked against her chest, her pink backpack lying beside her like a forgotten promise. She couldn't have been more than 9. Tears streaked her dusty cheeks, and she held a small paper heart crushed in her fist. Aaron crouched beside her. "Hey, sunshine, the day's over. Why aren't you heading home?" The girl flinched, wiping her tears. I can't." "Why not?" "My driver didn't come." She sniffed. "He never forgets. Maybe he left me." Her voice broke at that word. Left. Aaron's heart twisted. He recognized that tone, the sound of someone who'd already lost too much. He sat beside her on the cold tile floor. "Do you want me to call your parents?" She hesitated, glancing at the crushed paper heart. "My dad's busy. He doesn't pick up." "What about your mom?" The girl's eyes filled again. "She's in heaven." For a moment, neither spoke. The hallway clock ticked like thunder. Aaron swallowed the lump in his throat. He reached into his coat pocket, pulled out a small chocolate bar, his only dinner that night, and held it out. "You know, when I was your age, chocolate could fix almost anything." She looked at it, uncertain. "My dad says sugar's bad." He chuckled. "Nice to meet you, Miss Lily."
"I'm Monsieur Cole."
"My dad says sugar's bad." He chuckled softly.
"Then let's call it a medicine for sadness."
"Doctor's orders." That earned a tiny.
They sat together, watching the last ray of sunlight fade over the empty playground.
She told him about her mother, who used to braid her hair every morning, and how her dad now worked all the time to keep busy. Aaron listened, not like a teacher, but like someone who understood. He knew the ache of losing someone. His own mother had passed when he was young. His father, once a factory worker, had walked out soon after. Aaron had spent his life proving he didn't need anyone's help, until that moment, sitting beside a little girl whose loneliness mirrored his own. The janitor peeked in.
"Monsieur Cole, locking up soon."
"In 5 minutes," he said gently. He turned back to Lily. "We should probably wait outside so your dad can find you easier." She nodded, slipping on her tiny backpack. But when they reached the gate, the street was empty. Aaron checked his watch. Almost 7 p.m. He tried calling the number she gave him, but it went straight to voicemail. He crouched beside her again. "Tell you what, we'll wait at the diner across the street."
Warm light, pancake, no ghosts of school corridor.
"Deal."
Lily looked softly.
"Deal." Inside the diner, the waitress recognized him immediately.
"Evening, Aaron. Usual coffee."
He nodded. "And a strawberry milkshake for my friend." Lily's eyes widened.
"You come here allo."
"More than I should." He smiled. "They let me grade papers for free coffee." When the milkshake arrived, pink foam glistening in the light, she took one sip and giggled. "Mom used to say the world looks better through strawberry." Aaron grinned. "Then let's look through it for a while." They talked about her favorite stories, her dog that ran away, and the lullaby her mom used to hum. Every word chipped away at the heavy air around them. Then, the diner door slammed open. A man in a gray suit, soaked from the rain, stood at the entrance, eyes frantic until they landed on Lily. "Dad!" she cried, jumping from her seat. He ran to her, kneeling, his voice shaking. "Lily, I'm so sorry. The driver's car broke down. I tried to call." "It's okay, Daddy." She hugged him tight. "I wasn't alone." The man looked up at Aaron, breathless. "You stayed with her?" Aaron stood awkwardly. "She was scared. I couldn't just leave her." The man extended his hand. Thank you. I don't know what I'd have done if. But then his voice faltered. He studied Aaron's face. Something about it struck him deep, like a forgotten memory tugging at a locked door. Aaron felt it too, a strange familiarity he couldn't explain. The man forced a smile, pushing the thought away. I owe you dinner. At least let me. Aaron shook his head. Not necessary. Just make sure she gets home safe. The man nodded, emotion caught in his throat. You're a good man, mister. Cole. Aaron Cole. He froze again, repeating the name under his breath. Cole. But before he could ask anything else, Lily tugged his hand. Daddy, can we go home? He nodded. Of course, sweetheart. They left, the bell above the door chiming softly. Aaron watched them disappear into the rain. Something inside him ached, not sadness exactly, but a sense that this meeting wasn't random. He turned back to the counter, paid for the milkshake, and whispered to himself. Who would have thought a broken heart could recognize another through a child's smile? Outside, lightning flickered over the wet streets. He didn't know it yet, but the man he had just met, Lily's father, was the very same man who had left him years ago. The CEO who had built an empire on regret. His father. And this small act of kindness had just reopened a door both of them thought was forever closed.
The next morning, the world looked different, brighter, almost forgiving.
Aaron walked through the school gates with a faint smile, though his mind kept circling back to last night. The rain, the little girl, the stranger with familiar eyes. He tried to push it away. Life didn't leave room for impossible coincidences. Still, that voice.
The wise man said Cole.
It had stirred something buried deep. Inside the staff room, the principal approached him. Mr. Cole, there's someone here asking for you. Aaron frowned. Who? The principal gestured toward the office.
À Monsieur Donovan Cole. Aaron Briscoe. The name it like thunder. Donovan Cole.
His father's name. He hadn't spoken it aloud in 15 years. Aaron forced a polite smile and walked toward the office, each step heavier than the last. Through the glass door he saw him, the same man from the diner. Still in a crisp suit, still wearing the same watch his mother had given him the year before she died. Donovan turned at the sound of the door. His eyes widened, and for a moment both men froze, father and son, strangers joined by silence. Aaron, he whispered. It's really you.
Aaron's voice cracked. You remember me now.
Donovan stepped forward, emotion trembling through his usually steady tone.
I never forgo you.
I just didn't know how to come back. Aaron folded his arms, anger and confusion warring inside.
You left, Dad.
After Mom died, you vanished.
No calls, no letters. I thought you were dead.
I wanted to be, Donovan said quietly. I lost your mother, and I thought I'd failed you too. I built the company to drown the guilt. But success doesn't silence regret, it amplifies it.
The word hit hard.
Aaron saw the grief in his father's face, the same grief he'd carried all his life. So Lily. Aaron began. Donovan's eyes softened. My second marriage was short. My wife passed 2 years ago.
Lily's alley have left.
Aaron sank into a chair, the weight of it all collapsing onto him. The little girl he'd comforted, the one whose laughter had reminded him of his mother, was his half-sister.
She's wonderful, Aaron murmured.
You raised her well. Donovan smiled weakly. No, her teachers did. Her friends did.
Stranger like you did.
He swallowed hard. When I saw you with her last night, sitting there sharing a milkshake, I realized kindness doesn't die in families. It hides until someone brings it back. Aaron's throat tightened. Years of resentment melted into something softer. Donovan continued, I wanted to apologize, but apologies don't fix the past. So instead, let me do something right. You shouldn't be patching shoes and grading papers by candlelight.
Come work with me.
Teach at my foundation, the one that helps kids who lost a parent. Aaron looked at him carefully. You think money will make this right?
Donovan shook his head. No.
But maybe purpose will. For a long moment neither spoke. The schoolyard outside filled with the laughter of children, and through the window they saw Lily running toward the office. "Daddy!"
Monsieur Cole. She called, bursting through the door.
She threw her arms around Aaron's waist. "I told Daddy you're my favorite teacher." Aaron knelt beside her, smiling through the ache in his chest. "Thank you, Lily." She beamed. "Daddy says we're visiting Mommy's garden today."
You should come.
Donovan looked at his son, hope flickering.
Please, Aaron.
"Join us. She'd want you there."
Soleil et petits nuages at the garden.
They drove in silence to a quiet hillside garden filled with white lilies and wind chimes that sang when the breeze passed. Donovan stopped before a marble headstone etched with the name Grace Cole. Lily placed a handful of wildflowers on it. "Hi, Mommy."
This is my teacher.
Aaron felt tears sting his eyes. He remembered his mother's laughter, her gentle hands fixing his tie on the first day of school. Donovan whispered, "She always said kindness would come back to us somehow." Aaron looked at his father, older, humbler, broken yet rebuilding. He placed a hand on Donovan's shoulder. Then maybe it just did. They stood there together, three souls bound by loss and rediscovery. The years between them began to fade, replaced by something new, forgiveness. When they left the garden, Donovan handed Aaron an envelope. "I set up a scholarship in your mother's name, for kids who can't afford school supplies. You'll run it, if you'll accept." Aaron smiled faintly. "You always were bad at asking nicely." Donovan laughed for the first time in years.
Like fater, like son. Coucher de soleil sur édifice full circle.
Months passed. The Grace Cole Foundation opened with Aaron as its head teacher. Children who had lost parents found hope there, learning not just arithmetic and grammar but compassion. Every Friday, Lily visited his classroom, handing out drawings to students who looked lonely. One day she told Aaron, "Daddy says you're my big brother. Is that true?" Aaron's eyes softened. "That's very true." She hugged him tight. "Then you can't ever leave us." He smiled. "Never." In the evenings, Donovan often stopped by, still wearing his expensive suit but leaving his phone in the car. Sometimes he'd help clean chalkboards or watch Aaron read stories to the kids. He no longer looked like a CEO. He looked like a father who'd finally come home.
Étoile en cercle call to action, for your faceless Chanel.
Tulip kindness has a strange way of finding its way back, sometimes through a child's laughter, sometimes through forgiveness. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real heartwarming tales of kindness and second chances.